What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I'm on the run. Out here getting things done. Man, we got to get right into this Jay-Z situation. So let me just start off by saying, I told y'all so. I said, stop rushing the judge. Get out of the court of public opinion. Wait on the evidence. See what develops. Stop being ready to just believe whatever is said about somebody. We had a faceless accuser, some Jane Doe out there somewhere, that claimed that Jay-Z did this and that to her back in 2000 after the VMAs at a party. And of course, you had a bunch of people that was immediately like, Jay did it, he should be ashamed of himself, all that. It was a bunch of people out there that was talking about Jay-Z should have been ashamed of himself for going to the Mufasa premiere because of this and that. He's got a lot of nerve. What say you now? NBC did an interview with this woman, and she lied. You know, I mean, it's no way around it. She lied. NBC did the interview with this woman because, of course, you know, NBC they smell a big story. They want to get something breaking, incriminating about Jay-Z. But instead, they ended up being like, this chick is not being honest. So what all was said? Well, I mean, the story, even the interviewer, she's sitting there and she's listening to her, and it's a woman, of course, so you know she wants to believe her, but you can see in her face as she continues to talk about what allegedly happened that she's like, nah, she on some BS. Because, you know, if you're interviewing people, you've interviewed a bunch of people, after a while you kind of learn when people on some BS or not. At least you get better at discerning BS. And you can see in her face that she's like, nah, there's no story here. This woman is lying. She claimed that she lived in Rochester, which was 5 hours away. So someone drove 5 hours to drop her off at 13 years old to a Diddy party. All right? A Diddy party, 13 years old, somebody drove 5 hours to do that. Now, that would just be negligent parenting already as it is. You dropping a 13-year-old off at some grown folks party. Even if you don't know what all type of stuff Diddy is on back then, you're ignorant to that. That still don't sound right, that you're going to drop your 13-year-old daughter off at something like this. So she claimed that she was there. I mean, some of the stuff she was saying was just goofy. Like Diddy saying, you ready to party? You know, it just sounded really cringy. I'm not saying that Diddy wouldn't say some of this stuff, but it just really, it wasn't sounding legit. It was sounding like she just came up with this some way. She just wanted attention. She claimed that she had a drink and it made her feel woozy. I mean, this just sounds like a story we've heard a bunch of times. There's nothing unique about this. It just sounds like she could have heard some other story or something and wanted to do a Me Too moment. And Jay-Z came into the room and assaulted her, and a female celebrity watched. Now, what female celebrity? I paid attention to that off rip. What female celebrity? Why didn't you name them? I mean, we naming names, right? So who's this female celebrity? Name them. Why would you name Diddy and Hove, but be like female celebrity? Why wouldn't you drop a name of who that is? We naming names. She also claimed, I mean, she dropped names here. She claimed that the Good Charlotte brothers were there, and she had a discussion with one of them about his tattoo, something about being religious. And that was proven to be false because they were on tour and their publicist or representative was able to provide receipts. They were in Chicago performing at a concert, so they were not there. She was not talking to them about no tattoos because they were not there. The thing that she claimed happened interacting with them is a physical impossibility. So if she lied about this, then obviously she possibly lied about other things. So you keep listening. And she claims that she managed to escape and basically retrace her steps away from this mansion to a gas station under the influence, mind you. She's been given some alcohol that made her woozy, but she was able to do all that. That doesn't sound legit. But here's the kicker. She claimed her dad, she called him to come get her. So her dad drove 5 hours in the middle of the night to come get her. She said her dad picked her up, didn't ask her any questions, didn't ask her anything about what happened. They drove back home. Your dad drove 5 hours to pick you up, got his daughter who's been the victim of something so terrible, and he just decided never to speak on it. I don't know about that, man. And see, the thing is, like, if you got kids, if you're a father out here, you not doing that, all right? If there's one situation where you'll crash out on, it's your kids, all right? Somebody doing your kids like that, most guys would crash out on that. I'd say pretty much every father would crash out on that. So that just didn't sound right to me. And they took it a step further, NBC. They reached out to her father to confirm this story. And the dad says he doesn't recall anything like that. He said he has a lot going on, but something like that he think he'd remember. And I agree. You did 10 hours of driving. You drove 5 hours to get your daughter who's been assaulted, and then 5 hours back home. You'd remember that, all right? You'd remember what you were wearing. You'd remember what the weather is like. You'd remember that. So the dad is like, I don't recall any such thing ever happening. So, she effectively lied. She claimed she went with a friend, but the friend has died. So I find it to be rather convenient that the friend, the alibi, who was there with her, who could corroborate this, they're no longer with us. Now, I don't think the friend exists. I think it's too convenient that the person who was there to see everything with you, who could speak to these events being real, can't be interviewed. I don't buy it. So this is just full of BS. As I said, the whole thing was made up. And I tell y'all, man, when you got people coming out of the woodwork 20 plus years later talking about you did this to me, you did that, you gotta wonder if they own some BS. And then, okay, so her shady ambulance chasing lawyer, now that this has been put out there, it's very clear that his client is lying. He want to double down on stupid, trying to make it seem like, they the ones that's on some BS. She's telling the truth, whatever. So this doesn't look well for him. I mean, I could get why he probably took this on originally, because even if it weren't true, he's hoping for a settlement that he'll get a cut of, some hush money to, make this go away. But that's not happening. That's not happening at all. That's not gonna happen. That will not happen. So to, be doubling down on stupid, when you can see yourself that this this is fabricated. It did not happen. I just am like, bro, like, come on now. You got to do better with this sort of stuff. I mean, didn't he or did he not vet this woman first before taking this on? And, you know, I think it's important to mention this woman is, she's autistic. She has some form of autism. They really didn't go into that. And she suffers some sort of head injury as well, according to them. Now, I don't know if this has played any sort of part in this woman deciding that she's going to make these things up. I don't know. You know, I'm not going to try to diagnose her or anything like that. But bottom line is, the stuff wasn't true. She made the stuff up. And we all can see that. But, you know, here's the thing. Why aren't the news outlets covering the fact that she lied the way they were covering the alleged, you know, assault? You know, when the assault was alleged, it was everywhere. And now that it's been proven that she's not being honest, where's that same energy to call that out? This is what happens. It happens every single time. You know, look at the Duke situation. You know, these major news outlets, they're not really talking about that. Remember Al Sharpton, how aggressive he was in accusing those young men of how this was racially motivated and whatnot? Why ain't he saying nothing? You know, so this is why I say to y'all, that believe all women stuff is for the birds. You be a fool to believe all women. You know, if you just gonna believe anybody, faceless, you know, they don't have to provide any proof whatsoever. They can just say this happened. You're just gonna just buy it. You're not gonna challenge it at all. You're not gonna expect any sort of proof, especially something that supposedly happened 24 years ago. Y'all gonna find that you gonna be getting duped a lot more. This isn't going to be the last time you're going to be duped. You're going to be duped a lot more. So I'm going to leave it there. I thought this was an interesting development, not a surprising development though, because y'all saw I stood 10 toes down on what I said. I said we don't know anything. Wait on the evidence. Let's see what's going on with it. And if it turns out that Jay has done this stuff, I'm going to respond in kind. But I did not believe that this would be the case. And yeah, now we know it's not the case. She lied. She lied. The Duke chick lied. Amber Heard lied. Believe all women ain't it, man. And, you know, the women out there, you all should be offended. Because when stuff like this happens and y'all don't hold the women accountable, it weakens the whole, you know, victim thing. You are going to have women that truly are victims of crimes, and people aren't going to want to believe them because it's too many bad actors and they don't get held accountable in any way, shape, or form. So women out there, you should be offended. You really should. You should be offended by the fact that she tried to use simply being a woman to perpetrate this game. At this level, too. Trying to accuse somebody like Jay-Z. I mean, really. And somebody like him, he's not just going to lay down. He's going to fight back. You know, you might be able to get away with that with somebody much lower level that doesn't have the power and resources that he does. When you come in for somebody like him, with some false stuff, he's not about to just settle. He's not about to just pay you to keep quiet. He is going to fight back. Fight back he did. All right, I'm going to leave this there, man. Let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.